You see, we all been taught this hood way like it's the way we supposed to live. Like we supposed to ignore the rich way and skip to the hood way. Well, fuck the hood way, I want the rich way. The hood way or the rich way. You want the hood way or the rich way. You want the hood way or the rich way. Hood way or the rich way. The hood way noodles, that's cool and all. Rich way got the steaks, I want the steaks and all. Hood way or the rich way. Hey, hood way driving buckets.
The show about to start. Get your water ready. Tighten up.
It's your boy Prezi, Presidential Tyler Group is a label. Here we are with another episode of Bar Talk from the Crib. Give me a shot. I gotta get a shot before I even pour the water. You know, we gotta mention God in every episode. I thank God for being here, allowing me to see another day. You know, it feels good to be missed. You know, when I stop dropping on the daily, messages and all kinds of stuff start coming in like, where are you? Please drop. When you gonna drop? Are you gonna drop? Please drop. Here goes your drop. Okay, so I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate even being this, you know. Don't be scared to comment, because, you know, when I disappeared, fans started commenting out of nowhere, too. You know, they thought it was over with. So, you know, don't be afraid to comment, you know. Bar Talk from the Crib, episode 82. Have you had your Canelo moment yet? Ooh, wee! I know y'all seen that fight. Ooh, wee. And that fight was a whole message. I was like, you know, forget the fight. I couldn't wait to get back to the goddamn mic. Okay. In boxing, as in life, moments of dominance are rare and dazzling. Canelo Alvarez has embodied a two-decade climb from rising prospect to multiple division champion. The first undisputed super middleweight champion in history, and a long run at the pinnacle that included legendary wins and tough lessons. Ooh, wait, this guy was that guy, was he not? Last night reminded us that dominance isn't permanent. Sometimes you stay at the top for 15 years, sometimes your turn comes, and you must learn from the new champions who rise. Here are 10 life principles inspired by the Canelo moment. Why they matter and how do you apply them, whether you're riding high or humbled by the sport's next chapter. Principle 1, embrace consistent improvement. Why? A career like Canelo's isn't built on one great punch, but a willingness to involve weight classes, styles, training, and strategy. Continuous improvement creates long-term, our favorite word, resilience. You can't be a Canelo overnight. You can't be a Canelo without taking a loss. You can't be a Canelo being a crybaby. Can't be a Canelo not losing that weight and not gaining that weight. You gotta be strategic. So embrace consistent improvement. The takeaway from that is identify one area to level up each season, even if you're already performing at a high level. Even if you think you at the highest level, you think you at your height, is somebody coming higher than you, Calgon. Okay. Principle 2, respect the process over the spotlight. A lot of y'all are just there for the clout. A lot of y'all want the clout, but you don't even know what really comes with it. You don't know the process that come with that. So why should you respect the process over the spotlight? Is because fame can be intoxicating, but the real work happens in daily grind, the sparring, the diet, the recovery, the study of the opponents. You look at it and you don't realize everything that came with that. You see somebody here, don't realize, you know how, even me, you know how many books and different studies I had to do to even get to a pinnacle, to be here, to even talk to you there, for you to even be able to laugh and say, is he drunk? Okay, so when you're looking at a boxer, when you're looking at that famous painter, when you're looking at that soccer player, it's a process that came with doing what you don't want to do. Okay, the takeaway from that is chart a disciplined weekly routine and guard the process more than the outcome. Y'all focus on a trophy, but you don't know what it took to get the trophy. That's what's guarded. All you see is the trophy. And I want you to keep looking at those cards, because I'm guarding the process of what it actually took to even get there. Okay. 3, weather the peaks and valleys. This is important. Why? Canelo's career has highs and lows, undisputed titles, defeats. Stability comes from handling both without losing forward momentum. A lot of y'all crash out over a loss, Before this loss, Canelo already lost before. He didn't crash out then. He didn't crash out this time. A lot of y'all crash out kings when it comes to losing. You got to lose to succeed. Sometimes it's just somebody else's turn. Okay. Build a mindset that treats setbacks as data to inform the next move, not as a verdict on your value. Your loss, what's your next move? Okay. Don't let a loss be the verdict on your value because, like Canelo said, I'm still a champion. You still can't take away his legacy. 4, stay coachable even at the top. A lot of us get to the top and think you ain't coachable. You still got to be coachable. Whether you was Mayweather or Canelo, a Crawford could come teach you a lesson, right? So stay coachable. Why? Great champions remain teachable, seek new perspectives and adapting when the game changes. You want to be a Canelo, but you ain't coachable. Come on, soldier boy, let's be for real here. The takeaway from that is solicit feedback from a diverse circle and test ideas even if they contradict what you've always done. You always wanted to go this route, but sometimes you got to sit back and listen to your coach. And so try this. And even though you don't like trying that route, you got to try it. Sometimes your coach ain't even in boxing. Your coach might be a girl. Sometimes you get mad and do this and your girl like, look, listen, try this. And you don't take that route, but sometimes you got to switch the route. Sometimes going left don't always work. Try making it right. Okay. 5, define your long-term mission. What's your long-term mission? If you don't even know your long-term mission, which 80% of people don't, that's why you lost. What's your long-term mission? What's your long-term goals? Not tomorrow's goals, long-term. Okay? Should you define that? A clear purpose keeps you grounded when the spotlight blazes brightness and darkness. When I know that I got to go straight 15 steps to make a left, whether those lights is on or off, I got a map to exactly where I'm going. I don't need no lights. I don't need no friends. It's darkness. I know that where the light is coming and I know where it's at. I know where I'm headed. So as long as you keep that mindset, victory's on the goddamn way. 6, protect your reputation in victory and defeat. Pay attention to Canelo's loss. All the fans loved him more how he embraced the loss. He didn't make no excuses. He didn't come and say no nonsense, how a lot of you flabberwaps would do. He just said he was a better man tonight and he beat me. And when you embrace at a loss, your fans see the true you like, man, he's a real champion. A real champion knows that a loss can come, but how do you handle it is what is going to define everything. And when you treat life that same way, you could never lose because a loss is a win because you learn from that loss. Okay. In victory, maintain humility, acknowledge others, and keep your standards high. Your character sustains your legacy. And that's exactly what we've seen out of Canelo last night after taking the loss. Okay. In defeat, own the moment, honestly study what happened and let humility catalyze your comeback. So honestly look at the tapes and say, he got the best of me. If you do the Adrian Broner, you look at a fight of you losing and say, I won. I don't know what's going on. Like, bro, you lost in front of all of us. So own what honestly happened and be honest with yourself. Why? Reputation compounds opportunity more reliable than talent alone. Okay. The takeaway is respond with grace, not excuses, and let your actions speak louder than words. A lot of y'all doing too much talking. You got money, but we don't see it. You got the action, but we don't see it. You can fight and do what he can do, but we don't see it. You're doing too much talking. 7, reframe champions as cycles. Why? The sport teaches that era shift, new champions emerge to push the old guard toward growth. If you a real champion, if you a true champion, then you know you can't be a champion forever. You know that this champion got a date on it. You either gonna be like Mayweather and leave gracefully as you still got no losers, or you gonna keep challenging yourself like Canelo. And even though that you know that he younger, even though that you know that he might win, even though you're gonna keep taking them challenges and you may lose, but you know how to deal with those losses the correct way. The takeaway is view competition as a cycle rather than a fixed. Okay. The latter is your job. Your job is to stay ready for the next turn or to welcome the next champion with respect. That's your job as a champion. Okay. Put the ladder on up and say, your turn. When you're the president, the next president comes and the next one and the next one, and you congratulate them. But y'all be hating so much that you hate when it's time for another person to win. And it's not always going to be your turn. Okay. 8, invest in your margin. Why? Longevity demands more than peak performance. It requires recovery, nutrition, mental health, and sustainable training. If you remember, Muhammad Ali couldn't make it no longer because the mental health didn't went all to the left. A champion's about sustaining this. Can you take a loss? Can you stay mentally right? Because you stayed in shape physically, but how was you mentally? All of these play a part. Could you not drink and eat the right food to continue being a champion, even when it's not time to fight, but your body still got to stay right? So you still got to stay away from alcohol. Those are the championship type of mindsets that you got to have. Okay. The takeaway from that is build a personal margin, plan, sleep, recovery days, nutrition windows, and stress management. Without some type of plan, you can't run a business. Without some type of plan, you can't be no champion. To be a champion, you got to make sure you're eating right, make sure you got your running through, make sure you got this, make sure you're sleeping right. All of this type of stuff matters in business or in just being a champion. And use the champion, right? But you don't even have a strategic schedule. You just go with the win. 9, build a team that outlasts you. You a champion. If you building a team that's only the window is right where you at, it's a problem. Okay, but I want my team around me. If I might be younger, might be older, but they outlast the champ. Y'all might be here for the next champ, but right here, I need y'all here for me. Okay, why is that important? Because a champion's success is rarely a solo act. A trusted team multiplies impact. If you think you're gonna do it alone, that's why you ain't did it. Okay, the takeaway from that is cultivate mentors, coaches, teammates, and support staff who challenge you and protect your goal. Remove the yes man as soon as possible. You want people that support you. You want people to tell you that your breath stinks. You want people to tell you that you're weak. You want people to tell you to keep on doing it and go harder, but that ain't it. Okay, what Charlamagne say? That ain't it. Nobody want to hear the real, that ain't it. And sometimes Charlamagne right, that ain't it. Okay, the principle 10 is leave a legacy beyond the ring. A lot of y'all think champion is just about here. How is you champion as a father? How is you champion as a husband? How is you champion in business? How is you doing it? All of these other aspects matter, not just in only your business, not just only in a boxing. It matters everywhere, okay? Beyond the ring. Okay, why is that? The story you leave behind, charity, mentorship, contribution, outlives wins and losses. When's the last time you helped somebody, champ? Got a little quiet. Not the hidden charities where you pocket it that way, the pockets it back, and you never help nobody. Come on, champ. Come on, champ. The takeaway from that is starting a project that serves others in your name, creating a lasting impact beyond your sport. What is your sport? Sport. My boy told me earlier today his sport was drinking alcohol. That's some of y'all's sport too, man. Episode 82, Bar Talk from the Crib. Have you had your Canelo moment yet? Canelo's journey, ranging from undisputed credentials to the humbling reality of last night's defeat, reminds us all that life is life's ring is dynamic. Sometimes you're the champ for 15 years. Other times you witness a new champion rise and have to adapt. The true measure isn't never losing. It's how you respond when the bell rings. And that, forget losing, forget winning. How are you going to respond when the bell rings, whether it's the ending or the beginning of this? Stay curious, stay coachable, and keep showing up with purpose, because your own Canelo moment is less about the belt and more about the growth you choose in the face of change. It's your boy Prezi, Bar Talk from the Crib, episode 82. Power.